news that happened during the week. We'll do analysis, and we'll take your calls, and then we'll move on from there. I remain your host. My name is Prince Chilaka.
And my name is Dili Utomi, and you're welcome to the show, the Maritime and Border Show on 90.3 FM VOP Radio.
All right, so last week, precisely, we tried to look at the issue of the gridlock that is gradually resurfacing at Apapa, and we wanted to continue that conversation today, but then our guest is still on the way, and we hope he comes in so that we can continue with that conversation, so that we can also be able to find a middle point between the transporters and Nigerian Ports Authority vis-a-vis the road users. What we went through in the last 2 years in terms of gridlock on that axis is not something anybody would wish for, not at all, and we don't hope that we go back to that.
Yeah,
So,
Francis, I agree with you totally. The experiences that we had over the past 3, 4, 5 years assessing the ports at Apapa and the Tinkan, it's not something that we wish to have again. It was terrible. It was time consuming. It was, everything you don't want to happen in the transport sector. And with it looking like it's coming back again, it's not for the benefit of any member of the society or the nation at large, because it costs money. The man that one wastes in this traffic is enormous, and the financial losses is almost incalculable. So we wouldn't want to go back there.
yeah, Dilly, when you talk about 1 hour, you don't talk about the health implications. When you sit in that long traffic
Of course.
and you get home, you just find out that, you're done for. All you need is just to, take a bath and go to sleep.
That is it.
So we're
That's the
appealing,
reality.
we're appealing to the truckers. We're also appealing to the Nigerian Ports Authority to do whatever it takes. We're also appealing to LASMA to do whatever it takes to ensure that we do not go back to Egypt, so they say.
Yeah, all hands should be on deck, and everybody should play their part in order to make sure that sanity is maintained along the ports corridor in terms of accessing the ports and everything, so that the government of the federation, in fact, all governments, the three governments are the three tiers of government. They need as much revenue as they can from whichever source in order to continue to build the economy and to make life better for Nigerians, and things that form cog in the wheel of progress in terms of deriving the benefits from the various areas that we should derive benefits from should be removed, so that we have smooth operations around the maritime area and of course generally within the country.
All right. Last week we had quite a number of activities within the industry. We'll take up the news from here. Nigeria, China talks spotlight new trade, investment, and export opportunities. Nigeria has taken another step toward expanding trade and investment ties with China, as officials and business leaders met to explore new financing, export, and industrial cooperation opportunities. Nigeria is seeking fresh foreign investment to boost jobs, exports, and industrial growth, while China remains one of its largest trading partners and development financiers. The Nigerian-China Strategic Partnership has hosted a high-level delegation from Newton International Industrial Development Company Limited, a major Chinese investment and industrial development consortium, to deepen economic cooperation between both countries. The talks focused on expanding bilateral trade, industrial collaboration, and development financing amid Nigeria's push to diversify its economy and grow non-oil exports. The Newton delegation was led by Mr. David Chen, Assistant Secretary General of the China Henan Investment Council, and followed earlier engagements with the Nigerian Association of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA. They were accompanied to the NCSP meeting by Mr. Joe Onyuke, Vice Chairman of NASIMA's Agriculture and Livestock Trade Group, who conveyed the organization's support for the engagement. I mean, trying to open new frontiers and see how we can benefit from the relationship between Nigeria and China. I'm happy they're looking at it from the agricultural point of view right now,
Sure.
not just the mineral, because we know China has been benefiting so much from our mineral. But now that they're going to go into agriculture, we hope it becomes better. And the only way it can get better is if the issue of insecurity is curbed, because you can't be talking about agriculture and forgetting about the issue of insecurity.
Yeah. It's a very good development. We should be having many of these bilateral talks in order to improve not just relations, also improve our economy and the lives of the average Nigerian. It's a good one. Going further, NAFDAC issues nationwide alerts over Eurofarm products. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has issued a public alert over a nationwide mop-up of pharmaceutical products manufactured by Eurofarm Laboratories in Jos. In a statement posted on its official X handle on Friday, the agency said it had commenced enforcement action against Eurofarm Laboratories and its affiliate, Eurolink Nigeria Limited, located at plot PL 7354 Anglo-Jos New Industrial Area, following credible intelligence and regulatory surveillance. NAFDAC disclosed that investigations showed the company had been involved in the production, sale and distribution of several pharmaceutical and other regulated products without valid marketing authorization. The agency said multiple items were discovered at the facility, many of which were found to be in violation of existing regulations. This is ridiculous. How can a company come into the country and they are making products, pharmaceutical products at that, and they are not registered?
When you
kind of mindset is
when
that?
you say a company coming to Nigeria, I want to totally disagree with you. These are businesses fronted by Nigerians. They're either fronted or owned by Nigerians. So let us not shift the blame to any foreign national. Let us hold ourselves accountable. The Nigerian people have always suffered from government policies, bad decisions of business owners and all of that. So it's not about foreign entity, but it's about what Nigerians are doing to Nigerians. So I think that it's just one thing for them to sound an alert. I think that the agency should go ahead, close down the business and arrest those who are concerned.
That's terrible.
President Tinubu shuns Christmas carol in Aso Rock Villa as Obasanjo attends. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo was at the presidential seat of power in Abuja on Friday, his first Aso Rock trip since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn into office. Obasanjo, a major critic of the Tinubu's administration, has stayed away from the presidential villa even when invited for crucial events like the Council of State meetings. On Friday, the Nigerian former leader was one of the guests at the presidential villa when First Lady Oluremi Tinubu hosted the 2025 service of 9 lessons and carols themed Emmanuel's God with Us. According to a statement issued by the First Lady's media office, Obasanjo read the second lesson from Genesis 22:15 to 18, emphasizing God's covenant of blessing through obedience. Former head of state General Yakubu Gowon, who was also a guest, read the first lesson from Genesis 3:8 to 12, recounting humanity's early encounter with divine accountability. The host read the 9th lesson from John 1:14, affirming the Word made flesh dwelling among us. The congregation rose for the resounding hymn, O come all ye faithful. President Tinubu was notably absent from the program, though presidency sources claimed he didn't shun the former leaders, but it was because it was a religious event. You know, there are some excuses when you give them and you put them in the public domain. You create more anxiety.
Yeah, crisis of confidence.
Yes, because now if you're saying that it was a religious event and he didn't attend, does it mean that
He's only a leader of a section of the religious.
you know? Yeah.
You know.
So I think that whoever put out that from the office of the wife of the president did not do a good job. It was purely the marketing, especially now that we're having this whole crisis about genocide, Christian
Against
killing.
Christians, yeah.
I think it's an opportunity. It would have been a better opportunity for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to really show solidarity, with the Christians. But then it has happened. So,
No, I totally disagree. I totally agree with you. Of course, it's him attending the Christmas Carol of 9 lessons would have shown that he is extending a hand of fellowship to the Christian community, like especially like you said, with the current brouhaha about the Christian genocide in the country. The optics for me on this particular one is not too good. I mean, you would have done the simple thing of attending. It's in Nassau Rock, so why not attend? And then you're the leader of both the Christians and Muslims in the country, so and your wife is the organizer. You should have been there. Okay, moving on. NCJTFCLA celebrates third anniversary with KLT chapter inauguration. The anti-corruption advocacy group around the maritime sector, the National Compliance Joint Task Force of Customs Licensed Agents, NCJTFLCA, on Thursday marked its third year of existence with the inauguration of its Kirikiri Lighter Terminal chapter and a fundraising. It also used the occasion to honor its president on his birthday. The president of the association, Chief Basil Chudi Nwolisa, who has stayed very steadfast in the campaign against all corrupt and unwholesome practices, especially within the maritime sector of the Nigerian economy. Notable industry stakeholders, members of the public, and journalists were at the event held at the Rockview Hotel, Fesak Town, Lagos. The president of the group used the opportunity provided by the three-pronged event to deplore the level of corruption in the country, but urged everyone to be resilient and steadfast so that posterity will judge them kindly. The inaugurated members of the KLT chapter include Jude Chukuma as the chairman, Ukachukwu Azubike as the secretary, and Martin Iguago as a member of the task force. Chief Nwolisa encouraged the members of the chapter as well as every member of the advocacy group to give their best in the task of trying to rid the sector of all corrupt practices that have stunted the development and growth of the sector. This is a very good one. We were fortunate to have a Chief Basil Nwolisa here a couple of weeks back, and then it's a steadfast anti-corruption campaign, especially within the maritime sector, and the association launched the Kirikiri Lighter Terminal chapter, and then he used that occasion to also call people together for his own birthday. It's good that we can continue to encourage people like this to continue to speak against processes, behaviors, things that encourage corruption within the country.
Well, I was expecting that the issue between them and the customs would have come up during that period, but everybody went silent on it because our listeners would want to know how the matter was resolved. And also looking at those who were inaugurated in KLT, I do not see national character in it. I don't understand if it is only people from the southeast that are members of this organization in KLT. And I think that it is proper we balance positions in organizations, no matter who the founder is. Because tomorrow you will see another group will set up their own and then just have their own people.
It becomes sort of an ethnic
Yes,
thing.
ethnic thing. So we need to grow above this ethnicity. Ethnicity is killing this country, just as religion is pulling us backwards. So I think those who are responsible should go back to the drawing board and look at it carefully. Akuta, new maritime regulatory reforms will unlock investment, efficiency, global competitiveness. 2 years have indeed come and gone, and within that period, a great deal has happened in the Nigeria Shippers Council. This is coming from the
Executive Secretary.
the Executive Secretary of
Council.
Nigeria Shippers Council. Here, he highlighted this that the most significant achievement his administration recorded is the Nigerian Port Economic Regulatory Agency Bill. The bill, sponsored by the Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, progressed through both chambers of the National Assembly in record time and has now been passed. At the moment, it is undergoing final refinements by the National Assembly after being vetted by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. Once this stage is completed, it will proceed to the President for assent. He went further to say that this development is particularly important because the Council has long operated under a 1978 decree, now codified as CAP N133 LFN 2004. The Nigerian Shippers Council Act, an outdated law that no longer reflects the realities or reform direction of the maritime sector under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For us as a council, he said, this new legal framework is crucial. It equips us to address sectorial challenges more effectively and position the industry to attain the targets set by Mr. President for a modern, efficient, and globally competitive maritime sector. When I saw this, first of all, I smiled. And I said, and I smiled because every time we talk about Shippers Council, and every guest we have brought here have actually hampered on the fact that the Shippers Council has been a toothless bulldog. And finally, the Shippers Council have opened up. Now we know why they've been toothless. We know why they've been backing without biting. And I mean, how can you expect an agency of government acting on outdated law? I mean, it's the height of mediocrity.
Yeah.
And even the new law that they're trying to pass, they've been at it for 2 years.
Of course, they've been at it.
So something is fundamentally wrong. It's either the government does not want the Shippers Council to function effectively, or the Shippers Council on its own do not want to, function the way it should function, because in 2 years you've been working under a law that does not exist. It's an embarrassment, to the industry.
I think personally that it's probably that the members of staff at the Nigerian Shippers Council, maybe they've not been working very hard to, so they have been using, because actually, each time we bring guests here and they talk about the lack of efficiency within the ranks of the Nigerian Shippers Council, I've been opportunity to ask them a few questions, and they keep saying that the laws that we have are outdated and that they need to have new laws put in place so that they can be better than just a barking dog or one that bites. And I hope that with this law now almost totally finished and maybe codified and probably waiting for accent by the president so that it becomes a law and effective. I hope that finishing touch is put on it as soon as possible so that we won't have to be coping with that excuse from the Shippers Council of not having the legislative backing to be able to do their job.
Well, I mean, let's see what pans out at the end of the day, because there's so many complaints. If you remember last week, when we talked about the news item, where they said they got 46
the cases
complaints
and treated 26,
and they only were able to resolve 26. And then, I got thinking, you resolve 26 based on an outdated law, maybe like they said, alternative.
The hardest part of their function, like I learned, is that their inability to sanction any erring shipping lines and terminal operators. It's ridiculous. I mean, how do you is it being given power without authority?
It looks more like it. I mean, 2 years. It's no. Nigeria denies ownership of detained vessel.
Yes.
The management of the Nigerian Maritime Administration.
Take that.
I'm doing it. The management of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, has clarified the status of
professionalism within the corps. Yeah. Yes. It's the decoration of the two of some of the promoted officers, especially those who were within the PR department and the one who's still the national PRO of the Nigerian Customs Service. This is very good for officer morale and encouraging them to do more for the country.
I was particularly looking at the fact that the current CG was once
the longest serving
from 2001 to 2016.
Yes.
I mean, the man just sat down there,
there was a story about how he came into the PR department. The people in charge, I think somebody who was in charge at the particular place was unavailable because of illness or so. They said, "Hey, young man, come in here and fill in the gap." And he did a very wonderful job, and he continued there for a very long time.
I mean, it's quite impressive. And I'm also happy with our friend
Abdullahi Mayweather.
Yes, yeah. I mean he's top notch.
Capable hand.
He's top notch, and I give that to him.
We are hoping that one of these days we'll bring him here.
Yeah, he has agreed. It was spoken. He says he will come live. He wants to be here live. All right. Power Minister Adelabu petitions DSS over Primate Ayodele's 150 million demand for spiritual intercession. Okay. Bayo Adelabu, Minister of Power, has accused Primate Elijah Ayodele, founder and head of INRI, Evangelical Spiritual Church, Okafa, Lagos, of blackmail and attempting to extort 150 million from him for spiritual intercession to make him governor of Oyo State. Adelabu, a former governorship candidate, has declared his intention to contest the 2027 Oyo governorship election. In a petition dated October 13, 2025, signed by Bolaji Tunji, the minister's special advisor on strategic communications and media relations, to the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, Adelabu accused Ayodele of making false prophecies intended to malign his reputation after he rebuffed all efforts from the cleric who allegedly demanded a huge sum of money and expensive spiritual items. In a series of text messages between Ayodele and Adelabu, seen by the cable, the cleric asked the minister to bring 24 APC flags for prayers. The cleric also demanded 1,000 pieces of saxophones, trumpets, with the least expensive Nigerian fairly used grade costing a total of 50 million, and the imported grade 1 from China at 130 million in total. Ayodele asked Adelabu to bring the items by April. He later extended the grace till April 4th.
From April 1
to April 4th. I mean, do you know why this news item is interesting to me? We keep saying that sovereignty belongs to the people. Mm-hmm. We keep saying that go and get your voter's card and use it wisely.
Exactly.
In other words, we're saying that truly in Nigeria we should have democracy as defined. Government of the people, for the people, and by the people. But then here you find two men fighting over who has authority, fighting over who now has Jesus Christ in their pocket. And then, who now remote, they in other words, from what the minister is saying, it means that the man of God now remotes God, he dictates to God, he bribes God.
Exactly.
I mean, how far are some of our men of God willing to go? And how far are politicians willing to go?
What I think there's this word called simony, the selling of spiritual things for monetary gains. It's become a common thing in this country, and a lot of people don't understand that they you it's more like scam when you
It's
ask
not
some
more, it is scam.
when you ask people to bring money for I'm going to do something for you, give you spiritual things, or pray, bless you, or pray for you, give me some money. The God that gives you those powers, or the power that you assume that you have, has he charged you any money? I mean, it's so ridiculous, and you see, Nigerians keep falling for these things, and maybe now because this minister is unable at that particular time now to access that kind of money, that's why he cried out. A lot of Nigerians, from my own reckoning, have fallen into this kind of trap of extortion from the so-called religious leaders, and that's from one angle. Then from another, when those who are seeking political positions, why always pandering to the wishes of these so-called religious leaders? I mean, it's you want power, you want to get elected into a position. You go looking for some religious leaders who anoint you. You look for marabouts. You look for all manner of people who call themselves one name or the other because you want to win an election. And of course, you cause yourself to be exploited.
I think there's a lot of desperation amongst those who are vying for political office in Nigeria. They're not vying for the office in order to serve the people. They are vying for the office for their selfish, aggrandizement. Yes, because I don't understand why you want to serve the people, and rather than reach out to the people you want to serve, rather than sell your candidacy to the people, you are looking for somebody who will,
do some kind of magic.
Pick his phone and tell God, please, on the day of election, remote so that everybody will go.
Turn everybody's eyes to this person alone.
I mean, vote for. Our politicians are really something else.
I do ask myself, do Nigerians think that that's how it works in those other countries that we want to quickly run to? It's not. People judge the people that are presenting themselves for public office by what they have, the precedents they have, the qualifications they have, the fact that they have some programs that they are trying to sell to them, and not by
miracle.
No. Abubakar Ali appointed new coordinator of customs operation whirlwind team. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service, Adewale Adeni, MFR, PhD, has appointed Deputy Controller Abubakar Lucky Aliu as a new national coordinator for the Operation Whirlwind team. He takes over from Assistant Controller General ACG IK Oladiji, who has been redeployed to the Enforcement Inspection and Investigation EI&I at the headquarters. Aliu, who is also an expert in counter-terrorism and insurgency, has been Deputy National Coordinator until last week. His wealth of experience cuts across academics, customs enforcement, and general administration. That's a minor reshufflement within the ranks.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. The fact is that the management team, for instance, has been rejigged, and we hope that this new placement will bring more value to the Nigerian customs. NSCDC shuts down over 640 illegal mining sites nationwide in aggressive enforcement drive. In a bold move to sanitize Nigeria's mining sector, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has closed over 640 illegal mining sites across the country. This was announced by Commandant General Professor Ahmed Abubakar Audu during the Corps' final quarterly meeting of 2025 in a statement signed by CSC Afolabi Babawale, National Public Relations Officer. presiding over the high-level gathering attended by deputy commandants, general assistant commandants, general commandants of corps, and state operations heads, Professor Audi vowed that the mining marshals would intensify rigorous enforcement until all illegal operators are eradicated. You know why I find this as interesting news item is that I think it was last week or last 2 weeks, the governors of in the northern state had their meeting, and they said that they were suspending mining activities for 6 months. And then, I was quick to ask, when you say you're suspending, why don't you come out and tell Nigerians that you're suspending illegal mining for 6 months? Because based on available facts and figures, we do not have any active government mining taking place anywhere. We do not. So, for the governors to now say they are suspending means that the governors themselves are aware of this mining, and the federal and other states are not benefiting from, the input of this mining.
Yeah.
So what is going on? You can't benefit from the oil from the southwest, from the south-south, and you don't want others to benefit from the mining going on in your states.
I remember a governor, a former governor who is now a minister within this government. He raised this issue some years back when he talked about, of course, he's a former governor from the south-south. He was talking about this issue of mining in the north, where it's generally handled through illegal means. A lot of illegal mining were taking place in the north, and then he was scolding the federal government to wake up to its responsibility and take action, because if the law says that every mineral below the earth is to be managed by the federal government, and then the proceeds to be shared by the three tiers of government, by the three different tiers of government, then it should also include all these minerals. And it's not been so. All we see is pockets of miners from both within and outside the country mining these minerals and then making away with the proceeds. So the benefits that's derivable from it by the federal government that most Nigerians should share and are not being derived. And so it's high time they do the needful. Let those people who are in charge of the Ministry of Mines and Power go do the right thing, register the right people to go into mining, and then have proper, maybe have a consortium of interest, go into areas and mine, and then pay the correct dues they are supposed to pay. That's my own opinion about that.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah. A proper command seizes over 1 ton of Canadian loud. International drug cartels have suffered yet a big blow to their finances following the interception and seizure of 1,187 kilograms of Canadian loud, a more potent variation of cannabis. The operatives of the Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA), in their usual cooperative manner, jointly followed up on credible intelligence and intercepted the hard drugs at the Apapa Port, Lagos. Recall that both sister agencies have barely a week ago intercepted 25.5 kilograms of cocaine aboard a Brazilian-flagged vessel. Some see these recently recurring seizures as a direct effect of international cooperation, as intensely sought by the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, and the intensified offensive against narcotics trafficking through the various entry points in Nigeria. The officials of both sister agencies had acted on intelligence reports from the NDLEA. A resultant joint examination team uncovered the 2,374 sachets of premium-grade cannabis carefully concealed in 55 bags, hidden inside a 1 times 20-foot container with registration number NOFCIU 6369526, which was loaded with 2 imported vehicles. Each sachet was reportedly packed in 500-gram portions. Those in the habit of trading the illicit items must be having a torrid time of it now, as reports of seizures of hard drugs are now made almost on a weekly basis. The Maritime Mohammed Airport Command, the Port Terminal Multi-Services Limited Command, the Kirikiri Lighter Command, the Western Marine Command, and the Tinkan Island Port Command of the Nigerian Customs Service have all recently announced the seizure of hard drugs worth billions of naira. I mean, this is it's both encouraging and frightening. Encouraging for the fact that they are unearthing these drugs that would have caused so much damage to the to public health in Nigeria. More of these drugs are being seized, but frightening because we keep having this almost on weekly basis. And these are the ones that we are able to, the officials are able to seize. What about those ones who are able to successfully smuggle these things into the country and find their way into the society, causing so much damage?
Exactly. That is why we have a lot in our hands. We're going through a lot as a nation. In one hand, we're going through insecurity. On the other hand, we're going through the issue of drugs. And we and I know the effect of these hard drugs on the populace. And kudos to Nigerian Customs and to NDLEA. I ask them to be more vigilant, to do more. And I also want a situation where those who are engaged in these hard drugs are punished, very, very well. They must be punished. I find it funny that despite all the seizures, people are still bent on bringing these hard drugs. It means that there's so much money to be made from hard drugs.
Yeah, the more illegal something is, the more profitable it becomes when you succeed in doing that thing, and that is why more people. But like you said, perpetrators of this evil act should be caught. They should just not stop at intercepting these illicit items, but go after those who use different means to import these things. Make investigation. They are human beings and not spirits. They should be gone after and then apprehend them.
All right, good afternoon once more to listeners. This is VOP 90.3 FM, and you're tuned on to the Maritime and Border Show. We just finished a recap of what happened in the industry, some of the things that happened in the industry last week. And like we said, this is an interactive radio program. We'll be opening up our phone lines today because we have not seen our guest yet. I think it's caught up somewhere. We'll open up our phone lines. Let's discuss. We can take up from the news. You can bring up new topics. Let us look at it. I am particularly going to be looking at the Nigerian Shippers Council, when we open up the phone lines. You can, join the conversation via direct call 0700 903 903 903.
And on 081 717 56338.
Yes, you can send your WhatsApp messages. My name is Prince Chilaka and
Daily Utor.
Oh, I think we have a first caller. This person doesn't even want to rest. So let's see. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Oh, we lost this caller. Hello. Okay. So, Dilly, let us take the Nigerian Shippers Council and the fact that the caller has called back. Let's see. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, can you please turn off your radio?
Hello,
good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hello.
We can hear you. Go on ahead. Your name and where you're calling
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Pastor. I'm calling from That can be.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Please, what I want to say about the last the last we talk about the politician, about the pastor, the religious pastor and the politician.
Go ahead. Go
Go
ahead.
on, make your comment, sir. Hello? Hello?
All right. We seem to have lost that call there. He was actually trying to talk about Pastor Ayodele and the Minister of Power. But like I said, let us look at the Nigerian Shippers Council. A lot has been said about the Shippers Council, and I find it rather interesting, and I find it rather funny as well that an agency as
Being operating under a very old,
that is not
irrelevant law.
that does not exist. And then I keep asking if, in the course of all of these years, the last 2 years, or how many years now, if there was a litigation, how would they get out of it? Because sometimes we take a lot of things for granted. How can you be running an organization, a government establishment, a regulatory body,
with an outdated law?
And you're comfortable?
Well, personally, a lot of people have always upbraided them about their lack of action, lack of living up. That's not being able to live up to their responsibility. Some accuse them of sitting on their hands, but this has shown that actually they have a basic problem of giving them the legal power, the legitimate power to be able to act and do the perform the functions that they've been assigned to do. I just hope that they get it on with quickly and then tidy up all the necessary ends of the legislative framework that should guide them in taking up their responsibility as it is right now, because operators within the Nigerian maritime space are really crying out that virtually everybody is saying that the Nigerian Shippers Council should live up to its responsibilities, and this law that they are operating with, they are not being helped at all. They can only bark and not bite, like you said at the beginning of this program.
Yeah, and then I'm also worried of the fact that the bill in question is said to have been sponsored by the Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives, Honorable. Yes, yeah. And I'm saying, is it that they don't have competent hands in the Nigerian Shippers Council to be the ones to sponsor such a bill?
It can also be that I think probably Honorable Tajun Abbas also.
Hello, good afternoon.
Operator.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the program. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah, this is everybody calling from Lagos.
All right, go ahead, sir.
I'm a client for again.
Okay, go on ahead, sir. Make your.
So, what I'm just asking, when shall this Calabar port to name, Port Harcourt port and the when will they start functioning normal as they were functioning during the military? Why are they not functioning well in this civilian administration? Because Lagos is becoming highly congested. Many people have shifted to Ghana. Many of my colleagues, they are living in Ghana, they are doing well. The federal government are gaining a lot for most of these agents and Nigerian importers here. Why can't we do something concerning this South seaport? Where most of the people that are importing having their business in those areas? Why are we still having Lagos congested up till now? Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much for your observation, sir. But we also need to put it out here that last week when we brought in a guest here, we read out one of the news items I read was where they talked about an official of the Lagos State government complaining, upbraiding, that's scolding the MPA for uh, trying to go and develop the war report, paying attention to the war report, and then the guest was saying that no, it was not from that point of view. It was not, the Lagos State official was not actually saying they should not develop other ports, but that they are not doing enough to make the ports in Lagos more functional because of the lack of multimodal means of evacuation of cargoes from the ports. They are deliberate that, and he was accusing. It was like the Lagos State official was accusing the MPA officials of not doing enough to make the ports in Lagos work properly, and not that they were saying that they should not develop the ports in other regions. But again, let's just leave out that the ports in other regions. MPA is saying that they want to develop the Warri Port. They've been talking about it for years now, dredging of the Warri Port. And I also ask myself, you know that the first people who initiated the building of a deep sea port before that of Lekki came in was the Akwa Ibom State government.
Exactly.
Why is it that it was abandoned along the way? Because it's not. I learned that in some countries, even local governments, and they have a very big interest in port development. They go into partnership with some private and other government organizations to build ports within their area. So why can't state governments within the country, especially state governments of those littoral states, the states that are along the coast of the Atlantic, have go into collaboration, just like the Akwa Ibom State government then tried to do and abandoned it halfway.
That's the Ibom
Deep Sea Port, which was abandoned well long before this Lekki was conceived.
Yeah.
Lekki has been conceived and built, and it's operational for the past 2 years, and they are making billions of naira from it. What happened? The Delta State government, they are frittering away a whole lot of resources. Why can't they develop some one or two ports within their territory? The River State government, the Bayelsa State government, the Cross River State government, they can do this. Bring in investors from within and outside the country, and then make the environment conducive for them to invest. It's well, some people want to say that you can't give what you don't have. It's probably because they are not looking along that direction. And there's an old African saying that says that what you do not pay attention to, your mates better you in those areas. If you do not pay attention to a particular thing, your mates who are paying attention to those things do better than you in those areas. And so, I am calling on the governments of other littoral states within the country. The Delta State government, I'm from Delta State, the Bayelsa State government, the River State government, every other state government, the Ondo State government, they should also develop their sector.
Yes. Good afternoon. Your name and
Good afternoon, sir. Please go from your radio. Okay, Mr. Felix, make your point, sir. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go on ahead, sir.
I want to speak on the issue of and the commission of the
Go on ahead, sir. Say what you want to say.
No, there's one thing I know. Let me use a small speaking as a case story. Constitution is one story and not an apartment. The newspaper that came affected the person and the person day. I'm not a person from a fire, but I want to say that the government that look for him. Assuming the governor did not look, the commissioner did not look for him, I don't think that the transaction will be taking place in the first place. Now, hello?
We can hear you. Go on ahead, sir.
So for you to lamenting on the social media or on the radio station, what is he expecting people to come and do for him? Is he not the one that is not him that is looking for him in the first place before the registration starts? Why are you complaining?
Yeah, good point there, sir. Because if there's no buyer, there will be no seller. Abi? that is it.
So this one is quite is a very smart today. Every guy tackle the problem they have. So they forget government. That is not what we need here in Nigeria right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a lovely day, sir.
Jimmy, on a more serious note,
Yeah.
if Nigeria was to be a country where there's discipline, where there's morality, the minister should have resigned because it's an embarrassment. You are a minister, you are vying to become a governor, and see all the drama going around. It doesn't.
Well,
I keep asking myself, what legacy is the political class leaving for the Nigerian youths?
my brother, ask yourself this simple question. Since 1960, I've been operating as an independent nation. Can you count? You can count the number of people who have honorably resigned from their positions on the fingers of one hand. I mean, if I want to maybe recall a little bit here, I can just count like 3 or 4 that I don't know. I'm not that old. So maybe Kemi Adeosun and Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala were the only person I can remember that resigned from their positions out of maybe because their honor or their integrity were being questioned there. No, people, we do not have the culture of resigning. When there is a crisis of confidence when it comes to someone in a position of authority, the first thing for you to do is to step aside, resign. But Nigerians don't do that. They would rather say we die there.
And that's a very terrible mindset.
It is a very terrible mindset, my brother.
Because I don't understand how you can be a minister and you are openly, proudly telling Nigerians that you had a conversation with a man of God. I mean, like the last caller rightly said, he went to the man.
Of course, now he would have gone to the man. Now.
He went to the man
and they gave him the condition.
And then I keep asking, when they say they are seeking for all this spiritual power and all of that, what goes around in their mind? Is it that at the end of the day, the spirituality he seeks is to be able to jazz the Nigerian people so that the people in Oyo State will all
face one direction, his direction alone. That is the mindset.
Meanwhile, he has not sorted out the problem of the various bands he has created in with electricity. That people are still living in darkness, even though they are in band A and band B and bandwagon.
I can tell you that I'm paying through the nose for electricity because I live in a place where we are in under band A.
So, well, I'm not campaigning for him. Neither am I not campaigning for him. But I think that people should be the ones selling themselves to the voters and not seeking for any form of spiritual or magical power to be able to become. Now, let's even assume
the short and simple thing I personally, from my own perspective, we should have is that we should have an ethical revolution and character reformation in this country. Where people can think right, speak right, and do right for the benefit of the collective.
People can't think right when their stomach is empty.
But yes,
I mean, government has weaponized.
You mean a hungry man should not have a principle?
Government has weaponized poverty, and that's a major problem. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So a man who has 3 kids and the kids have not eaten in 2 days, what are you going to tell him? He comes to you and you're telling him, God be with you. I mean, he looks at you as if this man is not living on planet Earth.
But my brother, again, that is a fatalistic way of looking at things. If people, no matter the situation, should also have some level of principle. There are certain things that you should be able to do. Say, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't go down to that gutter level.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yes, please. I'm calling from Ikeja. My name is Samuel.
All right, Samuel, go ahead.
Please, I want to make a contribution in the area of early mineral mining in the northern part of this country.
Go ahead, sir.
Hello, you hearing me?
Go ahead,
go
sir.
On. Mr. Samuel, go
on. Please, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
So, if a Northerners have decided to find their own mineral resources into their own pocket or in the pocket of the politicians in the north. Okay, why then are we using the crude oil from the south side?
All right, we have lost that guest. Yes, I mean, it's a very serious topic that should be discussed, as a nation. 640 illegal mining sites across the country. Dilly, it's crazy. Yes.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. My name is Hello from.
Please move away from your radio.
Yeah.
On
the discussion this afternoon, we're talking about mineral resources and mine and steel that they're going on in the north. It's better than tell us the truth. I keep on telling you that there's a part of people that is untouchable in this country. If this thing that is going on in the north is happening in the south or southeast, I believe that government will come out and do something that when you hear it, you say, why? It's as if they are fighting war. From where I come from in Imo State, I'm from Ohio, at least you're from Imo State. We have oil. All those oil, government come there to take that oil to develop Nigeria. And Northerners, they are hiding their oil. It's better than telling the truth. If truly there is a law that made for a particular region, and there is a law that made for another region, that's my own take this afternoon. God bless you.
Okay, God bless you too. Well, like we said, 640 illegal mining sites have been closed down in the north. It's a good one. We hope that by doing such that they
no sorry
insurgency will reduce.
It did not say particularly in the north.
Across
mining,
Nigeria.
Mining is also done in the south. We should note that.
Hello. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah, my name is calling from Lagos. In Nigeria, what is good for the goods is good for the goods is not always good for the gander in Nigeria. And some are more equal than the others. Let's be honest with each other. The Northerners are being treated as in like superior beings compared to the Southerners, and especially Southeasterners. We in Southeast, I don't know if we are really Nigerians, so honestly, the way they are being treated, I don't really think, but no matter how they treat us, that inferiority complex can never be part of us. It's not part of us at all. How can you have mineral resources in the north and mineral is not coming from there? Yes, you are collecting everything from the south. It's uncalled for. It's uncalled for, honestly. It's uncalled for. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Dele, you were talking about mining across Nigeria. I don't have a problem with that. But where the problem started from is when the northern governors came up and said they were suspending mining in the north. And that is what triggered everybody. And that's when people started asking questions. Who are those mining in the north?
Yeah, good question. I actually have a friend, an old schoolmate who's into mining, and he operates in a southern state. It's not operating in the north. And from what he told me and still tells me, their mining operation is regulated. It is purely regulated. There are steps that you need to go through, different government agencies that you need to pass through, including the Office of the National Security Advisor, because there are certain things, in mining, you use certain equipment and certain tools, maybe dynamite and all those stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's highly regulated. It's a highly regulated sector. It's just that in the north, probably because of the land mass and the fact that people feel that everywhere you can go anywhere and do whatever you like, and the government is not very effective in that area. That's why a whole lot of illegal mining has taken place, and that illegal mining has also degenerated into what has enabled this insecurity that we have in the country. Because people, let's say, I was told that a kilogram of californium costs about 26 million.
Who told you that?
I read it somewhere. Sorry. So it costs millions of naira, millions of dollars. So if you have something like that, you just mine a kilogram of it and you make millions from it, you have to acquire arms in order to protect that environment where I'm
so Dilly, what you're trying to tell me is that the
no, the dynamics is what I'm actually trying to
what you're saying is that the insecurity that we're experiencing, especially in the north, has to do with some sort of the mining we're talking about.
Not some. It has a whole lot to do with the illegal mining. The insecurity we're having in the north.
That is another angle to it.
It is. But there is a religious angle, but there's also the economic angle, which is the illegal mining. It's so
who are
the major thing fueling the insecurity?
Who are the beneficiaries of this illegal mining?
A whole lot of foreigners and powerful Nigerians.
When you say foreigners, they come into our land, they forget that Nigeria is a sovereign state, like we're made to understand.
You see, you call something what it is and what it is not. Our governments at various levels have been, I'll use that term again, sitting on their hands.
Are you saying that they are compromised, that our leaders are compromised?
They are. A lot of them are compromised now. Of course, how would you have people coming in from maybe far and wide and coming into mine within your area and then giving people arms to protect your enclave?
Hello, good afternoon.
It's become like this.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Please, Chilaka. My name is Robert.
There are two of us in the
I'm
studio.
calling from my papa.
There are two of us in the studio.
100% with what your colleague is saying. Okay.
My name is
The
Dilly.
genesis of the insecurity we are facing in Nigeria is as a result of that illegal mining going on in the north. I am telling you, Nigeria is a sovereign country, but China is here mining our crude, our minerals also in the north, and the northern governors are closing their eyes as if they don't know what is going on. I bet you if that thing is stopped today, that mining something, that will be the end. Long time ago, when I think when Boko Haram started newly, I was working Papa Eleganza at that time. Many years ago, the kind of man that interviewed me told me that this Boko Haram were hearing and all these things, that he was a JT, he was among those that were fighting these people, that he showed me his ID card, I think a JTF member. He said they just set up that Boko Haram stuff because of this illegal mining that is going on. That this Boko Haram, they don't have anything they are fighting for. They are just fighting. They set up that to pay the minerals in that region. You understand? In Zamfara, a major Borno state. I'm telling you. So the government should just stop this thing for now. After all, they are not sharing the money with your country. They are not sharing it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Please, when you call in, there are two of us here. My co-host is Dilly Otomi. He's not my guest. He's my co-host. I think people keep making the mistake of thinking he's a guest. He's not a guest. So please address him properly. His name is Dilly Otomi. So Dilly, as we were saying, this whole thing about illegal mining has seemed to have driven us to insecurity.
It has fueled insecurity. That's why I will support the action the 19 northern state governors are taking as regards the suspension of.
Hello, good afternoon. Please, can you move away from your radio completely? Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
My name is Mark.
All right. Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, Mark.
Yeah, but for that issue that we people are discussing about, you people are very, very right. One, legal mining and all those stuff are the backbone of Boko Haram. Let's forget they had a Christian issue or not that. All those things are behind. The real people manage their business. All northern government know about it. That's the reason they criticize others. So that's my own part of it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Dilly, do we have any messages? We should just continue. So, it's really really sad that you know what should have been bringing joy and happiness and progress and development to Nigeria is rather bringing pains, and this instability to the country.
Yeah, some people talk about the curse of a blessing. I mean, you are supposed to be blessed. Nigeria is a very blessed country with both natural and human resources, but these have also been her undoing, her curse. Now,
Hello.
Sorry, Dilly. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, your name and
This
where you're
is
calling from.
Williams from Access in Lagos.
All right.
okay,
go
good
ahead.
afternoon, William.
Good afternoon. I want to contribute to the discussion that is going on. The two things. One, the illegal mining in the north. And considering it is the result or aftermath of the civil war. They deliberately suspended the so-called Eastern Nigeria, defunct Eastern Nigeria. Even the creation of states was balkanization. The southwest retains its zone as southwest. There is no balkanization there. The east is balkanized, causing confusion everywhere. Can you imagine that the war ended and they declared reconciliation, reconstruction and rehabilitation? They did nothing. Instead of doing things to reconcile the people, you are busy tightening the news against especially the southeast. Now we have ports in Lagos. Dangote was talking the other day that they want to build another port, and I believe it's in the southwest, the biggest in South Africa. And what happens to Eastern Nigeria? So this country, there's no way it's going to survive. Nothing. Now they bundle Kano to Sokoto, live jail. That is not possible. It is not possible because we are waiting. That is the main thing. It's not going to happen. When Buhari was in power, the Zamfara people so go to central bank and they gave them a 5 billion naira and they carted it away. If it's in the southeast, they will raise that door attack. They will go and be killing the boys. The country is not properly arranged. You should go to the zones and let there be true federation. Anything short of that is a waste of time because at the end of the day, it will end in the battlefield. And many the politicians have not learned their lessons. During the war, we lost 3 million people. And with that, they are not even caring about. They started the game. And most of these things start from the southwest because they make the two Shinkafi for the northerners. It seems Nigeria belongs to the north and the southwest alone. It's not going to be. Because trouble is not good, but it is not something that people will run for. Because when they start now, they'll be looking for somebody who started it. They should stand up to justice and righteousness. Anything short of that will create problems and will end up in the battlefield. And I see that in the world, no serious matter is ever settled in dialogue. There's always been war. That's why all the countries are building armament and this and that, creating war all over the world. So that is my own contribution. They should do something. Even if they group have access to the sea, they should wake up. But what we have is governors who are money mongers. Anywhere they see money, they run after it. Even when Buhari called the Igbo land the dog nation, the leaders there were following him as if they are fools. So we are not really addressing the issue at all.
Thank you so much.
So it's highly unacceptable. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So, Dilly, you were trying to talk about the illegality of mining.
Yes, I think when we were talking about it, reading the things that made the news in the week. We talked about the fact that the 19 state governors did not differentiate between legal and illegal mining suspension. I think I support the only place where I'll support the suspension is if they are going to sit back and say, okay, we are separating the wheat from the chaff. The wheat being those who are properly registered. Like I told you, the example of my friend who's engaged in mining as a business, but somewhere in the south, not in the north, and that over there it's properly regulated. It will tell you the stages that you have to go through in order to get your papers, and at each point you are doing what they say you should do. So if they are going to do that, and but then I keep asking again, why the state governors, like you said, it's supposed to be a function or the responsibility of the federal government of the country, because that is where every Nigerian will not benefit from the whatever mining, whatever they are mining from whichever state. But since it has been done, let them be able to define appropriately the modus operandi, what you have to do in order to engage yourself in the mining.
No, I think the rules are very clear. The rules of engagement are very, very clear. They're not hidden. For you to get into mining, there are certain conditions you will meet and all of that. But what I'm always after is the fact that over the years we have all closed our eyes to mining.
Yeah.
We have not been serious about mining, and so we have allowed non-state actors to hold sway.
Yeah.
And now that, government is trying to say, we want to take over our mining side. So I think the first thing first is that government should actually cancel all mining licenses. Cancel all of them, and then let people reapply. Those who have met the conditions, before the cancellation, government will not do anything, just give them a pass. Issue them a new certificate. But we need to be able to hold everybody within that sector accountable. Hello, good afternoon. Your name and your number, please.
Hello?
Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah, this is very good. I come back.
Okay.
Yes, I was still complaining about this. Our seaport and the south and southeast area. You see, it didn't concern any state government to develop that seaport. But this seaport is important. Everybody is saying that they want to join the war. How about on the war? On the war has a very deep water.
Where? Which one?
However, you see, to bring out their container from Lagos here and take it to the southeast, it costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money, a lot of frustration for we agents. Can't government allow things to move normal as was moving all these years before these people came into power? See, they should allow these are the people that are these are the importers in this country. These of them are frustrated and have left the country. A region Ghana top the whole Africa economy. See, Ghana money is far away from Naira. We are doing things difficult for ourselves. See that they are doing those Southeast people. We have alternatives. When the country didn't have us, we don't live and go to Ghana. Ghana today is progressing every. If you go to Ghana, go to Kumasi, because it's the power. It just feels as if we are just in the southeast. Companies here growing. People are building those in the country of Ghana. And we are here doing cannibalistic rubbish. It pays us nothing. It pays us nothing. We are losing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to weigh in a little bit on what I just said about the ports. Once again, the Nigeria has 6 functional ports, 3 here in Lagos, and you have the eastern ports, Warri, Port Harcourt, and Calabar. The part of the reason why most of the ports are not functioning properly is because most of them are river ports. We only have one deep sea port in the country. That's the Lekki, the newest of them all, the Lekki deep sea port. And big tankers, big vessels cannot navigate the waters of these ports because, for obvious reasons, because of the draft, the depth of the ports. and we need to continually develop these ports, and that's what like I support the suggestion, the advocacy for the whole thing to be decentralized. The eastern ports, Warri, Port Harcourt, and Calabar should be fully developed. But I'm also continually saying that the state governments within those areas should also come in and help put in resources in those places, or build fresh ports, deep sea ports in those areas.
Yeah, but the question is, what is the federal government's take on state government building ports?
The Lekki deep sea port, the federal government has a stake in it. The Lagos state government has a stake in it, but the consortium of companies have bigger stake in it. The federal government and the state government, they have minority shares in those ports and in the Lekki deep sea port. They can do the same for other ports. Okay, if because they started from scratch, the Lekki deep sea port, they started from scratch. The state government, like I keep saying, you can start their own ports from scratch. The Ibom deep sea port, which has been abandoned by the Akwa Ibom state government, should be resuscitated.
No. I think I totally disagree with you. It's abandoned. Don't forget that when Governor Omo, I think Omo, when it was
the incumbent governor.
Yes, when it was the incumbent governor, when he was decamping to APC from PDP, he said it was decamping so that that seaport will be completed. That was one of the things he said.
When the Lekki deep sea port was started, was the Lagos state government, were they in the Lagos state government, was it part of the federal government? As in, was it the same party in at the state level that was at the federal government level?
Well,
doesn't see
those
what
are
I'm just trying to bring out is that
those are political excuses.
Excuses.
That a lot of them are giving
excuses
us
in order not to
Hello.
do the job that are supposed to do.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. May we know who you are and where you're calling in from?
Yes, I'm calling from Manchester. I'm Williams.
Okay.
I don't think you are right by saying all those areas don't have DC ports, they are river ports. That is not true. Even here in what's it called, Tinkan Island, the federal government spent money dredging to have the correct port. So the same thing all leads to all the states in all those areas, southern Nigeria, they lead to the Atlantic. So that is the way it should be. But the federal government, the Nigerian state, have deliberately refused to do anything in all those areas. So Lagos is the only place they do anything. So it's not going to be like that. Whatever is good for the Jews is good for the Uganda. So we should wake up and stop all this tribalism and nepotism and all kinds of racism and lead the real thing. Because even the Boko Haram and all these people that are fighting, it's as a result of cheating. So they gang themselves up together and doing their thing. Whatever you say falls on their deaf ears. And it's going to lead to war. That's the way I'm looking at it. Because you're not going to tell the younger ones that, that they came to serve other people. And that is why Nnamdi Kanu was sarcastic about what he said. It's either Biafra or nothing. Because he has seen over the years, when did the war end? The war ended 50 years ago or thereabouts. And we are still where we are. So it's highly unacceptable. So the government, even Tinubu himself, you should wake up. Because it is a story fight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let me clarify something. When they say a port is a deep sea port or shallow or river port, river ports are those below the depth of -6 meters, and deep sea ports are anyone that's from 14 meters deep. The draft, that's the depth of the from the surface water to the depth where you touch the ground of the under the water. If it's as deep as 14 meters deep, minus 14 meters deep, it means that it's a deep sea port. And what we have, the only deep sea port we have, according to this definition, is the Lekki deep sea port. Others, like Tinkan and Apapa, they are less than 6 meters deep. So that's what I mean by deep sea port and river port. If it's not it's not deeper than that 60 meters that I just talked about now. It's called a river port and not a deep sea port. And I keep maintaining that we should have other people playing roles in making the ports function, or building new ports that should function. We shouldn't just all sit down and complain. Let our investors, our money men, those who are the major importers, team up together and pull their resources together, and then develop other ports, and then let's have the whole thing decentralized.
Okay, you can't talk about the maritime and blue economy without talking so much about customs, because it looks as if everything about that sector focuses on Nigerian customs, because Nigerian customs seems to be the bride that lays the golden egg.
Yeah, they are the ones that make the money.
So that's why we keep talking about the events that happen or whatever happens with the Nigerian customs. We also talk about the things that happen in the MESA, as well as Nigerian Ports Authority and the Nigerian Shippers Council, because these are all the bodies collectively that come together to make up this maritime.
The agencies that operate mainly, the government agencies that operate mainly within the maritime sector, including NIWA, of course. The Nigerian Inland Waterways,
including including other agencies. I mean, so we're saying that it's a sector you can't just walk on the own and so on. Hello, good afternoon. Sorry. Yeah. Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Hello, Kenneth is my name.
All right, go ahead, Kenneth.
Yes. You see, it is quite annoying to hear this kind of something. That 640 something illegal mining are happening in the north. And in East, like in the state where I come from, where they say about gas is being discovered, then you allow me, somebody to dig my own business, and it puts the money on the table of the whole projection. Whereas the one in the north is not being done like that. How does it sound in the ear? How do you look at it? This 58 after the Civil War, and we are still in that condition. It's quite appalling. It's quite unacceptable. Thank you.
Well, sir, I think the thing is this: the NSCDC says that they have locked down 640 illegal mining sites in the country.
In the country, not in the north.
Not in the north. But then what we're saying is that the northern governors themselves have come out to say that they are banning mining in the north for the next 6 months as a way of curbing insecurity. I mean, for us, anything that would curb insecurity is a welcome development. We're happy about it. But what we're also saying is the fact that who are these illegal miners? Why are they not being arrested? And who takes the benefit of this illegal mining?
You see, part of what we also know is this. You know that in northern and southern Nigeria, the vegetation is different, the topology is different. That's the shape of the surface area of the land is different. Access to minerals.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, am I on to Delhi and Chilaka?
You are. This is Dilu Tommy. I'm Francis.
Good afternoon. This is Martins from Ago.
You're welcome, sir.
I listen to your program a lot. Kudos to you guys. Even though it's more or less a maritime program, but somehow you touches other areas that are also vital, most especially that gets involved with security and the ease of movement. Well done.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so very much, sir.
I just want to say this. The information that we are also hearing now has been there all along. The two of them, both the illegal mining and the government maybe partiality or functional within the southeast geographical location. Most especially that these are the bulk of the people that are into that line of business that patronizes maritime and cargoes and ships and clearing. I feel that these are deliberate effort by the government of Nigeria to sideline most especially the Easterners. It's a deliberate effort. No matter any guise or any camouflage government may be putting on it, it's a deliberate effort. The other day I was hearing, I don't know how that authentic that story is, that the governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu, is blocking or saying no to opening up of any that is seaport within the south and southeast. I say, then my question is, does the governor have that absolute right to do that? That is on one part. On the mining issue, my brother, it's like you are sounding as if you are just hearing it. It has been there. We know that there has been a lot of illegal mining going on within the north, most especially unhindered. I'm not saying it may not be going on in other places in the south skeletally, but in the north it's pronounced. The governors are aware. The federal government is aware. It's just this issue of anything that happens in the north are given preferential treatment. When it happens in the east, most especially, you see government will come down with full force using a sledgehammer to kill an ant. But the truth remains that if injustice is not addressed, the child it will bear will definitely not be a good one. That is all I'm giving to the government of Nigeria. If they are wise, let them do the right thing. But if they want to close their eyes and ears to doing the right thing, I don't know. The consequences may not be good for everybody. God bless you.
All right, thank you. I think we we need to say this that the issue of illegal mining is not particularly one-sided. Like Dilly and I have said, there are illegal minings going on also in the south, but it's more pronounced in the north.
It's not so pronounced.
Yes, it's more pronounced in the north. Yeah. So it's not like another thing. And then also with the governor of Lagos State and Nigerian Ports Authority, I think there was a breakdown in communication because the government is saying that what they are saying is that the Ports Authority is not doing everything to facilitate the development of
the Lagos
ports. Yeah. And that if you don't develop Lagos ports, why are you now beginning to focus on other areas? But there's no way the Lagos State government would stop the Nigerian Ports Authority from carrying out their oversight function of opening up new ports, So let us have that at the back of our mind.
You see, the thing about
hello,
good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
I'm calling from Continue.
Your name, sir?
Right.
I heard somebody defending the issue of port mistake. What of he did to make today? What of our Nigerian prayer? Can you see anyone in that here in Igbo land? Do you know how this our brother calling us to suffer before he can settle that in Igbo land? The cheating is too much. It's too much. 2 times after the Biafra war. Look at in Lagos State. If you have a 20 feet, maybe to 10 million naira. When you go to down to Ablema Wharf, you come to 25 million naira. Then you now make it down there. You can see the differences. Go to north today. There's nothing you cannot see. Better road, nice road. From here to the jail, but no one in the Igbo land. The chicken is too much. It's even part of hand. Okay, look at our resources today. They have been eating it after the war. Okay, see what they are hiding in the north now. They are hiding it. Bring Boko Haram to defend the issue. My brother, it's too much. It's too much.
All right.
We should allow people to go, and we must go on that mode.
Please, dear listeners and contributors, This program is meant to encourage national cohesion, and we point out the ills within the society and want the various governments and people of this country to make amends so that the people of this country will live to enjoy the benefits of their God-given resources, and not a platform for causing division or causing people trauma, either physically, mentally, emotionally, or in any way, in any other way. It's meant to help people to think about developing our nation. That is what this program is all
Dele,
about.
before you take the messages, let's take this call.
Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Where are you calling from? Your name, please.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
We can hear you. Go ahead, sir. Your name and where you're calling from.
I want to speak to what the last caller said
Your name and where
about
you're calling
cheating.
from, please.
My name is from the country.
Okay.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Go on ahead, sir.
Today I'm speaking to the last caller said about cheating. You could mention about how where I came from. Unfortunately, we don't have nothing because we are giving Nigerian is using to take care of themselves. But in our area, no security, no. But I was still claiming, Nigeria is still claiming that hello.
We can't. Your line is very bad. Can you call back? Julie,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Let me take this message from Yemi in Lagos. Yemi from Lagos. It says, on Adelabu Ayodele Imbroglio, why these so-called men of God keep succeeding in massively exploiting their victims is simply because of the victims' lack of knowledge of the Bible. They capitalize on their ignorance to lead them captives. Anybody can call himself anything. But Jesus, when warning us to beware of these charlatans and impostors, he clearly described them as false prophets. And at Matthew 7, verse 13 to 23, he emphatically made it clear that these false prophets of God won't have anything to do with partisan politics. Are we not all living witnesses to these men of God flaunting their massive wealth around, dashing themselves fleets of Rolls Royce during birthdays? The other time, a serving senator was alleged to have gifted a popular man of God with a whopping $100 million on the latter's birthday. Let's put our thinking caps on. This is from Yemi in Lagos here. Yemi, thank you so very much for that contribution. I think another one was talking about what I said about the different drafts of the seaports. He said, have you tried to confirm if the rivers in the east are not more deeper than that in Lagos? Go and verify the truth about it by yourself, and you will be surprised by your findings. Thanks. You see, what?
I think there's still another one.
Yeah, there's still okay.
Yeah, let's just take all the messages at once.
Okay, it says you'll be so surprised that the rivers in the east are far more deeper than any others in the.
Yeah, I mean, there's another message after that. I think.
Okay, let's see. Okay, good afternoon, VOP. As long as Nigeria is using this unitary system that gave them unitary system of government and claiming to be a running federal system of government, they are only postponing the evil day. Let Nigeria go back to regional system of government. No amount of amendment can solve the problem of a house with faulty foundation. The only solution is to pull the house down and construct a new and solid foundation. This is from Elder Isaac from Idimu. Okay, that's about it with the messages. A little bit of a clarification. I was saying here before, in the country we have about 8 states that are littoral states. Littoral states, that's Litoral. Littoral. That's states that are close to the sea. That you can easily have access to the Atlantic Ocean. Like here, Lagos. Lagos is one of them. Ogun, Ondo, Rivers, Delta, Cross River.
That's all Delta. Hello, good afternoon. Oh, we lost it. Go ahead.
Okay. And these littoral states are the ones that I'm actually accusing their governor, aside from Lagos, that these 8 states that are close to the ocean, that can easily have access to the sea from these states. These are the ones that are near to the Atlantic Ocean, where the ship can come in from. And these states, they have governors, apart from Lagos State, which Lagos State government, which is doing a lot to developing the port system within their area. Why can't they do something just like borrow a leaf from Lagos State and also develop their own area of maritime sector by either building a port, or the other 7 coming together and say, okay, Ondo, Rivers, Delta, we will develop a very big deep seaport in maybe Rivers or in Delta or in Ondo State, so that you can take pressure away from Lagos. There's nothing holding you back from coming together to say.
Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. Go ahead.
Hello, Prince Chilatan Beluton.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
I'm back again. Martin from my prayer.
Okay, Mr. Martin.
Sorry. Like the issue of Adelebu and Prophet, what do you call him? The Henry Jew. It's quite unfortunate that a lot of us profess to be Christians and we don't even know our left and right when it comes to Christianity. The problem is that some of us, maybe from our background, we always want to seek help even where we're supposed not to seek help from. Number one, politics is not about, God does not love or hate any nation than others. People should be wise, and even men like Adelaide who are educated should be wise enough to know that what you put in is what you will get. Not running to any native doctor or a prophet to come and do something for you so that you now want to manipulate God or what. It sounds so ridiculous when you hear people of this level, even in government and education, to fall prey to this kind of things. Because if you are sound with the word of God, or at least know the word of God, you can't fall prey to this kind of a thing. Anytime any man of God or in whatever nomenclature is telling you buy this, buy that, buy this and buy that, run away from there. Run away from there. That is not Christ. That is not what Christ told us. Go and read the whole of New Testament. It wasn't like that. So most of the people that fall victim also are people of Ojukoko, as we will say it in Lagos Palace.
Yes.
That is the truth. That is the truth. So let people who hear all these things do not think that probably somebody is hypnotizing anybody. It is most especially because of our greed and to cut corners that make people go that way. After all, if you feel you're popular, go to the pool. Come to the pool with equity. Then you get what you want. And again, if government or if serving in government is actually serving, why would people want to invest so much to get there by hook or crook? Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
So,
Dilly,
yeah.
we're still talking about the,
Yes. What I was saying is that the states that are the littoral states, those that are close to the Atlantic Ocean, that have access to the sea, direct access to the sea, their governors should try as much as possible to do something to develop the area. When they talk about seaports, people mix things together. You can only develop a port in a place where you have access to the sea. We are not talking about a river. The sea is different from the river. Of course, we know the difference. So, and we have about 8 or 9 states that have access to the sea, to the sea, and all of them can build 1 or 2 or 3 extra deep sea ports. Not the ones we have here. We only have 1 deep sea port in the country. With modern facilities. It's only Lekki that is operating as a deep sea port and with modern facility. It's at least I've been there, seen their operation. I see it takes about it's just about 33 seconds for them to move to scan
A container.
a container at the port. Everything is automated. And these are the things that we need to do in order to continue to improve in our economy, because it increases the competitiveness. People, we are not alone in this world. People are doing things better than us, and they are making more money and making life better for their people. And that's what we want to do. You can't be doing the same thing now the way they've been doing it since 1950, and you think you want to compete.
Jenny, now that you talked about this, state governments coming together to put up a business, so to say. I keep saying it that even in the southeast, they don't need all these airports they're building.
They don't. They do not.
They don't need all these airports. If the southeast governors can sit down together and think of using train, networking the entire southeast
Exactly.
with train. I
We are
mean,
talking about multimodalism.
yes. So you
Different
don't
means of moving people from one place to
you
the
don't
other.
need all this. Every state is building an airport. How many of the people can travel with the
Those are
airport?
white elephant projects,
Where the
because they will have to make money from it for themselves, their pockets.
So because you have, for instance, you have an airport in Owerri, you have one in Anambra, you have one in Enugu, you have one in Ebonyi. How many people are traveling by plane?
My brother, even okay, let's talk about, we are in the southwest, have we? Federal government has an airport here in Lagos, about 2. They have in Ibadan. Ibadan airport is moribund. It doesn't function. They have one in Ilorin. It doesn't function. Then why you build projects that will function, make money,
hello,
and help
good
the
afternoon.
people?
Hello, once again, Mr. Chilak and Phillips.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my dear. Mr. Chilak, you are from Imo State now. Who among the eastern governors are interested for your your progress? Who among them? Is it from Ojis or except Mbakwe? Who among them? Sometimes I normally think, what is the benefit of for me to say what am I benefiting? Eh? Imo is a whole Imo state. There was a time they say economic something. They are gathering all the intellectuals to look for economic something. Up to today, nothing happened. They are there for their family and themselves. Ordinary citizens in the East have nothing to benefit from. And that's the same people you are voting. We are voting APC. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Jenny, I think we like I keep saying, we can't talk about the maritime industry without looking at other area, because there's this
interconnection.
yes.
Yeah, of course. Now everything is interconnected.
Because you can't keep saying, oh, the ports in Lagos. Meanwhile, you have states in the southeast, you have states in the south. What stops them from coming together? It has
always been my question.
Because when we keep talking about the unity of Nigeria, and we're doing things as if we're competing with each other. What we should actually have is benefit
cooperation.
Cooperation. We cooperate. We look at something that will benefit everybody. This is going to be our last caller for today. Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Oops. Please stay away from your radio.
Hello. Yes, good afternoon. You are the last caller for today. Where you call your name and where you're calling from. Hello.
Good afternoon.
All right, so we need to our leaders need to be thinking out of the box.
Obviously, they are not doing that, and that's exactly what the kind of thinking.
Imagine if we had a train from Lagos to the southeast. Who would be bothered with the plane price right now?
Exactly. People are shouting about the cost of flying these days now.
Who would be bothered?
If other means of transportation are efficient.
I really don't know, how we got to this state.
It's interesting. Today. This issue you just raised now. When the former president of America, Joe Biden, was campaigning, I read a few things about him. Since he became a senator of what's that his state, the small state where he comes from, he had always taken the train from there to New York or to Washington D.C. and back. He lived in his own state, and he goes to do his legislative duty in Washington and takes the train back all the time.
Because they have a system that works.
That works.
They have a system that works. I mean, look at, okay, let us even digress a little bit. Look at the whole shenanigan of everybody shifting from PDP, this party, all to APC. And nobody has come to tell me
what the attraction or what these people have done to impress us.
How is it going to benefit the ordinary Nigerians?
Yeah. It's a high time we go away from all this me selfish attitude that.
All right. So let's see, guest our listeners who want to sponsor our program.
Yes, of course, this program is open for sponsorship, and if we roll out a few numbers, you can contact. Numbers have been listed.
You can just send a message to 081-717-56338.
Or on 083-692-9933.
Yeah, that's the station WhatsApp number. Just send a message and say, oh, you want to participate, or you want to sponsor the Maritime and Border Show, and the message will surely get to us, and we'll follow it up. Because if you, our listeners, don't support us,
this program won't continue to survive. Yes, we need to survive.
But we know we'll continue to bring it to you every Sunday. Continue to enlighten Nigerians, because the program is basically meant to create awareness in the maritime industry.
Find ways of preferring solutions to the problems.
And finally, as we round off, I want to especially congratulate the new area controller of KLT. That is Deputy Controller B.L. Adigun. Very nice, very fine man, as so to say. He's taken over the mantle of leadership in KLT. I want to formally welcome him and to wish him, all the good things he would wish, and I would tell him that he has the support of this program, and we would always monitor his progress. We wish him progress as he takes over the mantle of leadership of KLT.
Let me also join you there in a congratulatory message. I'm sending this congratulations to the new customs area controller of the zone A of the Federal Operations Unit, Controller Aliu Gambo, who took up the mantle of leadership at the Federal Operations Unit, Zone A, at Ikeja a few days ago. So you're welcome back to Lagos, and we wish you the very best at your station right now.
All right, so this has been the Maritime and Border Show, and it's been on your darling station, VOP 90.3 FM. Join us next week, Sunday, as we keep looking into the maritime sector and bringing you the juicy news. My name is Prince Chilaka.
We listed out some numbers that you could call for the sponsorship of this program. In addition to that, you can also call 08027590195. That's my line. My name is Dili Utomi, and may God bless you all. See you next week.